What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to the Beyond Canary Zone for a daily news update. And we have transfer news. We haven't done it in a while, but we have a story where Locatelli might leave the club in January. That's in January, in the summer. That's what we're going to talk about. We have an update on Ferguson, a good one, a big update, as well as on Calafiori, and we have an update on Dean HUIJSEN as well. So that's what we're going to discuss in this video. Before we get into it, smash the like button. Let's get to at least 85 likes on this one. So hit the like button now. Really helps out the channel. Getting closer to 5K, so subscribe. And hit that bell notification before we talk about Locatelli being sold. So the news story is from Locatelli Sport because they were linking us with a lot of midfielders, Subamendi, like name the list goes on and on and on and on. We know the midfield works. You know, work need to be done in that midfield. We know that I'm gonna talk about Ferguson in a sec as well. That we need players, but we also need one very good quality player. I don't know how Juventus is gonna pull that off. Is it gonna be a free agent? Is he gonna need to spend whatever? But we need some experience in there as well. However, the story, I will read out the news first. He said, Gazzetta Sport is saying, with the changes in midfield, Locatelli might be affected, possibly being used as a box-to-box midfielder or even placed on the market. The Premier League has always been following him and keep an eye on the next coaching job of Roberto De Zerbi, who's heavily linked to the Man U job as well. And, well, he's been very open about Locatelli, said, you know, no matter where I'm coaching, I would always want to have Locatelli in my team. So that's maybe a potentially very easy link by the media. I will tell you straight out of the box why this is, in my opinion, BS. I don't see any scenario where the club is going to sell Locatelli. And I say in any scenario because you might say, man, if a club offers so much money, there are no links with Locatelli. There are no teams in for Locatelli. And that doesn't mean he's a scrub. But he's one of those players who are just not going to move. Like, they're just going to be in and around the club. And the story being pushed that the club wants an Italian spine and we are linked with Zaccagni for that reason, all those things. It would make absolutely no sense at all for the club to move on Locatelli. Like, the midfield needs work. I get it. But Locatelli is not the main problem in that midfield, if you know what I mean. Like, long term, he has quality enough. And people know what I think about Locatelli. And I've been very vocal on that, on it, excuse me. However, I don't see a scenario where the club is like, yeah, Locatelli, you walk, you do you. Like, it's just not gonna happen. I don't see any scenario, and I think with another coach, he will flourish, in my opinion, if we play differently. Like, I saw the extended highlights of the first Italy game. Was it against Venezuela? It was against Venezuela. Extended highlights of about 12 minutes or something. He looked much better. You know, the passing, the quick, you know, forward passing and all those things, it looked much better. I don't think he's a scrub. I don't think he is. Is he overhyped by some? Maybe. Is he overhated by some? Maybe. I'm just in between with Locatelli, but I don't see the club selling him at all. You know, if the club is going to make changes in the summer, then it's probably gonna be, you know, Rabiot, you can walk because you're free. Maybe McKennie, if an offer comes in, we loan out Miretti. You know, I don't think Locatelli is high on the list or just on the list for the club to say, you know what, you can move. We're gonna sell you because it makes a lot of sense. I don't think it's gonna happen, but keep an eye on it because maybe you never know. However, the good link is Ferguson, and that is from Nico Shira. This is from Nico Shira, excuse me. He's saying that Juve are currently leading the race to sign Lewis Ferguson. Positive meeting with his agents in the last weeks. Bologna are asking for 25 million euros to sell Ferguson, and I've seen a lot of people go wild, crazy. Oh, he's not worth that. That's not the type of players we should be looking at. And I've seen the names of list of players we should be looking at, and I agree. Like, I agree with all the players people have on their list, but you also need to be realistic. That's why I said a couple of minutes ago that, yes, we're going to need to sign experienced, maybe free agent players, but you're going to need to add these type of players because that's the situation we're in as a club. Ferguson is a good player. Like, he's not a scrub. Is he world-class? No, but you also, again, need to be realistic. We're not signing world-class again, the narrative is changing. Now people are saying, you want to sack Allegri? Then okay, all standards. You want this, and this player. That's not like, we know the situation we're in as a club. We need to improve players. We're gonna need to sign these type of players. And Ferguson's having a very good season. If Mota comes in, it makes even more sense. However, I think he has characteristics attacking wise that we obviously are missing. But again, it depends on coaching in terms of how is the next one, or even Allegri, if he's going to say how he's going to set up next season. Like, all these things do matter. The intention, how you play, because certain players will look poorly in one setup compared to another setup. But Ferguson, I think it's the coal miners as well, really quickly. Yesterday I said, like, it's clear that he is the main target, but for me it's not 100% certain that, like, that we are going to get him. In terms of, I think we have other top targets as well, but the club is kind of masking it with coal miners right now. That's how I'm feeling at this moment in time. But Ferguson, keep an eye on him. I saw Gudmundsson from Genoa, but I think Ferguson, not the same players, but I mean, if we're going to sign one of these players, because from one of those teams, basically, I think it's going to be more Ferguson, because he will fit in need. You know, I think Alcaraz will be out of the door again. So keep an eye on those Ferguson links, because I think they are very solid. You know, and from good sources. 25 mil in today's market, it's not a lot of money. It isn't. It really isn't, and that's probably our budget. You know, these type of players in the summer, because we need multiple players. We do not just need one. You know, because if you spend 60 million on coal miners, that means your budget is gone, or you're going to sell a couple of players. But Ferguson, keep an eye on that as well. Now, another Bologna player is Calafiori. Again, a lot of concerns from people saying he's not in the starting 11, he's not the main guy at Bologna. I see your point, you know, but if you watched Bologna, there's like, it just feels like he is the next one up, you know, and like, he's just gone from Bologna basically, because he's showing things that even if he's not in the lineup, because consistently starting 11 every single week, because that's how Mota does his thing. But the way he praises Calafiori and the positions he plays across the box, even higher up the pitch, like, he's very comfortable on the ball. He reads the game very well. Like, he's just a very good player. He's a very interesting player to keep an eye on. But my feeling is, and I think the club is looking at it or viewing it the same way, and it's like, if we don't jump on it now, he's gone. He's gonna go to Inter, or he's gonna go to Milan. It's just gonna happen. So for the club, it's now or never. Now, that raises big question marks in terms of the next one, HUIJSEN, and that's also a news story from Mirko Di Natale saying that Roma will try to discuss the HUIJSEN situation at the end of the season. Other teams that have asked for information are Atalanta, Newcastle, West Ham, Dortmund, Leipzig, and Atletico. Actually, very good teams, you know. But the question is, okay, you bring in Calafiori. You have Calafiori. You have De Sciglio. I'm going to count him, but he's still at the team. You have Bremer. You have Gatti. You have Danilo. You have Diallo. You have Cambiasso. It's too much. It's too much. And when I'm sitting there, I'm like, it's not even that great. Like, it's not even that great. So for me, there's a growing feeling and a possibility that HUIJSEN will be sacrificed. It's one of those weird feelings I have. Same with Sule, more so with Sule. I think the Sule one is more straightforward, that he's going to be sold. I think it's just set in stone at this point. But the HUIJSEN one is a growing feeling that we're going to move on HUIJSEN. We do not know how Diallo is going to look. We do not know if we're going to keep Gatti. Apparently, yes. Rugani. I forgot Rugani as well. Like, there's too much. And HUIJSEN is not going to be like, okay, I'm going to go out on loan one more time. I think if he's not part of the plan, he will ask the club, just sell me. Is that a mistake? I think it is. I really think it is, because I think he has a higher ceiling than players we are trying to keep. But again, we can sell out Bremer because we need the money, and who knows how we're going to play. Like, that can actually be a legit possibility. People need to keep that into considerations. But this summer, big decisions for the club. Even Barnechea, who was like, has impressed me big time this season, where I'm looking at him, I'm like, man, if we're going to sell him for like 10 million euros, is that really worth it? Because he can be a potential starter in multiple games, and even if you're not that high on him, a good backup. you know, a very good squad player, in my opinion, with a very low wage as well, you know. And with the HUIJSEN one, again, same thing. High ceiling, low wage, still great potential, sell on value, all those things, they're there. And it's a big decision for the club. Are they going to make the right decision? I think they're going to sacrifice quite a few of them. So let me know. Let's see, excuse me. Let me know in the comments what you think, what you will do in these cases. And yeah, I will respond to them. Thanks for watching, and I will see you guys later today for a live preview with a Lazio fan. So stay tuned. Ciao.